Okay, so the first item on the agenda for tonight is to approve the prior workshop minutes from December 4th, 24. Do I have a motion?
So moved. I'll
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, the second item, we have Russ Pearson here, the director of Madison Ambulance or Emergency Medical Services. So I will let him take it away. I'm going to stop sharing the agenda and share the book so you can see what we're talking about. Can everybody see that? I know it's small. I'll make it bigger.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Does that work?
Better. Thank you.
Okay. So, Russ, you're up.
Okay, thanks, Stacy. Good evening. I just want to go over a little bit of our CIP expenditures here. So if you look, item number 2, the second line down, ambulance replacement 801. We actually moved that from the 26-27 budget year up to this current fiscal year 24-25, along with the supervisor replacement vehicle. So that freed up some space in fiscal year 26-27. We were able to move the paramedic response vehicle replacement, the 2013 Ford Expedition 805. That was moved from 25 to 26 to 26-27, as you can see on the revised schedule. So currently, fiscal year 24-25, 26, we have no capital expenditures. So that's a good thing. The ambulance replacement 803 still continues to sit in the 27-28 fiscal year. That's $325,000. That is one of our smaller ambulances. So right now that quote is good, and I'll probably be getting another quote within the next probably year and a half or so. The cardiac monitor for Medic 3 is currently in 28-29. That's $70,000, and that was off of a quote that was received in September, and that quote was for $57,429.53. And what I did was, according to the salesperson, she recommended anywhere from 5 to a 7% increase. So if you follow that out, that's just over a 5% increase until 28-29. And then to round it out, the ambulance replacement 802, that's our 2019 vehicle, and in customary with the 10-year lifespan of the ambulances, that's out in 2030, and that's still sitting at $375,000 currently. And our ambulances are still in production for about 2 to 2.5 years, and that's one of the reasons we moved that ambulance replacement for 801 up a couple years. So that is currently in the process of being built, and I have no updates on that.
Thank you, Russ.
You're welcome.
Al? Maybe hand up.
I have 2 questions, Russ. The first is the fleet right-sized at this point, proper number of vehicles? And my second question is the facility need any attention? These are all vehicles, am I right?
Correct, and the cardiac monitor. So some great questions. Do we have enough vehicles? Yes, we're fully staffed. We have 4 vehicles. They're currently all operational. However, the one that's being replaced, 801, has seen a increased mechanical cost to keep it on the road. That's one of the reasons we're replacing that now. And we're also seeing one of our other vehicles, which is currently 802, which is due for replacement in 29 and 30, having some increased mechanical issues that hopefully we have under wraps right now. The station's holding up pretty well. It was built in 2011, and it's holding up well. We do have some space constraints with the garage that houses all 4 ambulances. So we can't have all 4 large ambulances. That's why these 2 replacement vehicles, 803, which is 27-28 fiscal year, and then 802 that I just mentioned. Those vehicles are a little smaller because if we bought 4 large ambulances, they would not be able to fit comfortably in the large space. But so far, the building is serving its purpose.
Great, thank you. Alex?
Hi, everyone. Quick question. Again, this may come across as naive, but how does this work in the sense that are sometimes ambulances private companies, and in this case, is this a town service, and people who work there are they town employees, or just I don't even know where to begin. If you could just give me and the public a little bit of understanding, that would be helpful, please.
Sure, I'll give you a little bit of background. So 2011, the new building was built. At that time, the town purchased the 4 ambulances, or we had the 4 ambulances. So the 4 ambulances and the 2 supervisor vehicles are town owned. The employees are not town employees. We're all in the association. So the Madison Ambulance Association, DBA, Madison Emergency Medical Services, is a 501c3. So we're a nonprofit. So we are not town employees. However, the building is town owned, and like I just mentioned, all the vehicles are town owned as well.
So as a follow-up question, so if a person in town dials 911 for a fall, for example, are other private companies also potentially dispatched, or does your nonprofit service all 911 emergencies in town?
So we handle all 911 emergencies in town. So when you call 911 in town, you will get a Madison ambulance, responding. So we carry the primary service area PSAP, it's called. So we carry that designation. We carry that license. So for instance, Guilford Fire couldn't come in and do a call in our town unless it was mutual aid. So we do have a lot of mutual aid, and we go out mutual aid. That's when, for whatever reason, all Madison ambulances are unavailable. We'll call for an ambulance from a different town, but that doesn't happen very often, thank God.
Okay, and just when that decision was made to buy 4 trucks ourselves, was that a financial decision, that it was in the town's best interest to get in the ambulance business, or is it just because we're such a small town and there was a gap?
So we stagger the ambulances. So 10 years out, we stagger them. But this occurred way back when we were on Bradley Road and we had EMT service. And not to get too deep into it, but we had a paramedic from Middlesex Hospital come out and provide advanced life support. And then in 2011, we purchased, the new building was built, and we decided to go with our own paramedics. And so as of today, we have our own paramedics in-house, and we respond with 2 ambulances that are staffed 24/7 with a paramedic and an EMT, and they are able to provide advanced life support to the town, the residents and the visitors of the town.
Great. So it sounds like, we have a high quality service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions for Russ? Good job. You explained the whole thing, Russ, in your 10
Thank you.
minutes of fame. Alex, do you still have your hand up, or is that from before?
Sorry, I'll lower it now. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Okay. So unless anybody has anything else, I think we could let Russ go. We good?
Laura, do you have a question?
Oh, Laura, I'm sorry. You moved.
Yeah, I did. I acted quickly. I just wanted to check on the amount. So the 801, is that a bigger unit than the 803 and the 802? Because I'm just looking at those values out there, and wondering whether we need to increase the cost of those in 27 and 29.
So, yeah, so good observation. So yeah, 801 is a Ford F450, so it's a bigger cab and chassis and a bigger patient compartment or patient box, as they call it. So yes, it is bigger than 803 and 802. They're more of a van type ambulance with like a van front. They're a little smaller. Again, that's because they need to fit in the station. We do have those space requirements. The build for production is like 2.5 years out. So those figures were good as of 5, 6, 7 months ago. I don't know where they're going to go in the next year, year and a half, 2 years. And I constantly ask the salesman if, how are the, how are the timelines going, and if anything is increasing or they're still having issues with production or supply chain issues. And he says everything is still 2.5 years out. So I wish I had a crystal ball and I could look at it and say, yep, it's going to be 450, but I just don't know. Historically, obviously, the smaller vehicles are a little less expensive. So that 325 to 375 is probably a pretty good, variance there.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex has his hand up again.
Yep, intentionally this time. Another a question I meant to ask. I see a line item for grants. I know there seems to be monies floating around. Do we have someone who's on that, making sure that we're not missing out on any state or federal monies that may be available?
Yeah, so we always try and obtain any type of grants that we can. Sometimes we can get into the AFG grants, the assistance to firefighter grants. A lot of times that's just geared towards the firefighting area, but sometimes we can get in there as EMS. We also apply for other individual grants. We just received a grant out of a philanthropic agency out of New York, so that's coming in, a nice $5,000 grant. So every little bit helps, but we're always looking.
That's great to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Me. Sorry, Steve.
Katie? Yep.
I am wired for sound now. I just scooted in from work, so it took me a minute to get in the zone. In any event, I'm noticing in 24-25, the ambulance, and you may have said this when I was feeling a little foggy, but ambulance 801, there was 400,000 for that.
Correct.
So then this is just to finish that obligation. Is that true? And 26-27, the 385.
It was moved. I'm not sure which.
It was moved.
It was moved from 26-27 to 24-25 due to the increase in production time. And that,
Okay.
and that was I went from the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Finance, that was approved, and we got that
Gotcha.
moved. And so we kind of flip-flopped some things around. So we flip-flopped 801 from 26-27, 24-25, and the paramedic response vehicle got moved later back. That vehicle's in very good shape. It's going to be 11 years old, or it is 11 years old. It's going to be 12 years old, and it's got 29,000 miles on it. It's garaged. It's in really good shape. Mechanically, it's sound. So we felt we could push that back another year. So that's why there's no capital expenditures in 25-26.
Thank you so much for getting my head straight.
You're welcome.
Okay, anybody else? Let me make sure I don't have anybody. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Russ. Good job.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So next on the agenda, committee comments. Do we have any? Nope. Citizen comments. I do not see anybody online. So do we have a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Yeah, second. Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
everyone. Have a good night.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks. See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.